Los Angeles, California, where the Mad Scientist Party Hour. Jesus.
Hello there, friends! Welcome back to another episode of Mad Scientist Party Hour. My name's Kevin Kraft, joined once again by a man who has sacrificed his pants and undies to the Dark Lord and is currently using his boner to work a Ouija board. That's Jeff Clark.
What's up?
Help. And beaming to us from Transylvania, a bearded one-man monster mash known as Shuddy Boy.
Whoa.
Whew! I almost barked all over myself.
I like that spooky season intro. Thank you, Kevin.
How dare you use such a fucking pencil dick term, Shuddy Boy? I thought you better than that.
Oh man, dude, I just saw some weird shit on Twitter. During the Easter egg, I talked about the Giants, New York Giants sideline massage video that was viral yesterday. Looks like one of the coaches was jerking him off. I found it through Twitter, and I searched Giants massage. And when I went back to close the page, it was like the first listing. When I went back to close the page, it auto refreshed, and there's just some dude's like big dick just like on the screen.
Oh, finally what I was looking for.
Weird was the hand was different color than the dick. It's like I'm not investigating. Whatever.
Man, Shuddy Boy, what happened to you? What's going on over there? You are
just
for the people of YouTube who are like just joining on as you are off camera, and your dog's playing ping pong in the background.
I'm a mess right now.
Shuddy, it looks like you're on an internal roller coaster that you're having a lot of fun on.
I am on the moon right now because of an edible. And I almost double dosed myself before we started. Thankfully I didn't, but I am going to smoke the volcano.
Sure, why not?
Let's just go all in. We're recording late tonight. I like, my work responsibilities are pretty much over for the day, so I can let loose more than usual. Not that I don't normally let loose, but
you can put the party in Mad Scientist Party Hour.
yeah, I'll justify it in my head however the fuck I want to.
Only you crap your pants would own for you is the only. Hold on.
We're gonna get that Shuddy today.
If we're lucky.
Well, the only way out is through, as they would say. So
yeah, we've got to play through
volcano.
no matter what happens.
Yeah. Did you spill coffee all over yourself?
Somehow I dribbled my Hostess Ding Dong's iced latte all over the desk in front of me.
I love me a fucking ding dong.
Is that a Nas shirt you're wearing?
This is
That's the shirt from the Wu-Tang tour, right?
The New York State of Mind tour shirt.
Wow, that's a lot of different fonts.
Yeah, and then on the back, right above the ass, it says Nas Tour 2022.
On the ass?
Like, the shirt's too... it's actually on the front. It's right there. But it's down on the bottom.
That's some weird placement. Well,
And then this is a globe with the Statue of Liberty all around it.
and this right here is the neck hole. That's where my head goes.
I appreciated the whole tour of the New York State of Mind merch shirt.
These are my arms.
I saw you go back through it.
It's way too big. I bought the extra large, and it's fucking gigantic.
Yeah, I'm at a weird part right now where like mediums sort of fit me like sausage casing, but a large will just drag on the floor behind me, and it's like, why can't there just be a happy medium, no pun intended? Like there. I'm too fat. That's basically what I'm saying is
Yep.
I let my thumb injury get the best of me. Like I was I was on really, really good pace to be fit again. And then my thumb exploded and took me out of doing a majority of exercises to the point where I was just like, you know what, fuck it. I'll just start exercising when my thumb's healed up again. Didn't anticipate it taking that long. It still hurts. Like I went to get something from between the couch cushions and just stuff rubbing against this disgust-a-bug scar here, like really, really fucking hurt. It felt like somebody held a lighter up to it. So like the bone still hurts. The skin over the scar still hurts. This happened like before my birthday in July. And we're now like, I guess technically mid-October, and this fucking thing still hurts. Damn it!
I am glad you brought up your thumb.
Oh, are you?
Yes, because it segues into an adventure from this past week.
Cool.
Where I could be sitting here today with an injury more egregious than your thumb, and you would no longer... I'm probably building it up too much.
It'd be your whole hand?
I got a splinter on a popsicle stick.
Sharon and I went on a hike on Friday.
It was your first mistake.
And on the way back, driving back on the back roads, we start driving up to something in the road. And I thought naturally that it was some sort of creature that had been run over. And as we're driving by, I look at it, and it takes maybe 50 to 100 yards for it to register what it was and to say something. I was like, oh, that's a turtle. That was a turtle. Sharon was like, is it alive? I was like, it looked like it. She's like, well, we need to go back and move it.
Oh.
So I stopped the car. I'm like, okay.
You went into animal rescue mode.
So how strong are those shells? Because like you use it as like a jump?
No, it probably would have exploded. So I back up very slowly so I don't run over this turtle. And we pull up next to it. And I look at it and I was like, holy fuck, that's a big turtle. And
like how big?
Like, well, you're going to go move it, right? And I said, I'm going to go move it. I was like, you were so gung-ho. I thought this was something you were going to handle, not me.
Nice.
Like, no, she's like, absolutely not.
Ugh.
This turtle I have never seen a snapping turtle this fucking big. It was so fat, like it had rolls billowing out of the side of its shell.
Whoa.
Monster fucking head. Its head was every bit as big as my fist.
So it wasn't injured. It wasn't splatted.
No,
it was just chilling.
It was not. It was alive. It was just chilling on the hot pavement. So like I'm sitting there for like 30 seconds in stunned silence, trying to figure out how I'm going to do this.
You sneak up behind it and you grab its shell on the sides. That way it can't like bite or swat at you.
Well, then coming from another direction is a pickup truck.
Oh, and fuck! You're on your own, turtle.
I truthfully, the first thought in my head was, well, now I don't have to handle it. God has taken it out of my hands. This truck is going to smash it. The truck stops. There's like a weird tense moment. I pull up a little bit so he can go around so I can figure out what the fuck to do about this goddamn turtle.
And then Shredder jumps out of the pickup truck, clad in his shiny, spiky armor.
I got this. This, Shuddy.
It's not far off of what happened. The dude fucking throws open the door of his pickup truck.
It was actually Bebop and Rocksteady.
Grabs a pair of work gloves, puts it on his hand. Sharon's outside of the car, mind you, by the turtle because her thought was, I will film you moving this turtle.
It's a good thought, yeah.
Like she was so ready for this. I'm like, I'm going to lose a fucking finger.
Good thinking by Sharon to be the videographer of that moment.
Yeah.
The dude just walks up, grabs this monstrous turtle by the tail. The turtle starts flailing around and hissing, and the dude just walks it across the street, puts it down in the grass, and gets back in the truck and drives away.
Did he say anything to you?
He did. He's like,
fucking
I was
pussy.
like, because
Now that's how you handle a turtle, you libtard.
I said, I said, thank you. You were much more prepared for that than I was. He's like, I do it all the time. They fucking stink. And he took the gloves off and he threw them in the pickup bed and then drove away.
Wow.
Just like,
I feel you, dude. We would have been in the same
we drove
position
away and Sharon's
if
like, oh, I was really excited to video you doing that. I go, well, I would have never thought to grab the tail. I would have grabbed it on the side of the shell, and that thing was so fucking big, it probably would have bit my finger off.
I don't think so.
And if he did, we would have had to kill the turtle to take the turtle to the emergency room so my finger could be reattached, thereby negating stopping in the first place.
I don't think a turtle can reach to bite you if you grab it by the side of its shell. They're pretty useless.
I mean,
that's why they have that big shell. Nature was like, Jesus, you suck.
Logically, I understand that, but in the reality of the situation,
philosophically,
I just vision that. You know how, like in the Multiverse of Madness or in Endgame, they talk about how there's a million different realities. Was convinced I was in the reality where I lose a finger, where it doesn't go well.
That's a fair thought. Kevin, you probably would have had a similar thinking.
Yeah, I probably would have, like, if I was in Shuddy Boy's position, I probably would have, like, gently, like, kicked it in its ass to sort of just, like, nudge it off the road. Or, like...
I would have been really mad at that turtle for having to drive around it.
I would have probably just splatted it. I'm too lazy to turn the wheel.
It was on the other side of the road. It wasn't in my lane of traffic.
Oh, what the hell were you thinking? So taking a step back, did Sharon bring it up or you brought it up to her?
As we drove by and I realized what it was, I was like, oh, that was a turtle.
But you didn't say it thinking like, oh, we should go handle it. She said that, right? That was her idea?
I mean, I did have a split second of thought in my head.
Gotcha.
But then there was also the I don't want to move a turtle.
Yeah.
Thought. So it was kind of just oh, look at that, a turtle. You don't see those every day.
Honestly, what I want usually supersedes what I should do. Actually, almost every time. So I would have just kept driving. Fuck that turtle.
So yeah, that was the turtle adventure.
Tanya would have played out the same way for me. I would have just stared at it.
I didn't get out of the car at all. Like Sharon was out of the car, standing at the turtle. The car came. Like I moved.
Oh, you weren't even in the car, or you weren't even outside the car.
I did not set foot outside the car.
So that guy just kind of saw. He might have saw you, but definitely saw Sharon. I was like, I'm gonna help this lady out.
No, he saw me because my car was in the lane of traffic because it's a 2-lane road. Like there was no shoulder. Like.
Yeah,
it's a culvert on like a drainage on both sides, like a country back road. So I was in the driver's seat of the car, so he saw me.
Well, I'm happy that turtle didn't take your fucking finger off.
Me too.
Didn't know that was possible.
Although,
would just naturally be afraid of turtles.
If the turtle did take Shuddy Boy's finger off and Sharon was filming it,
I mean that's.
Patreon,
I did say
the
worst and best thing that could happen would be me losing a finger.
I mean, when my thumb exploded, like all I was thinking was like, God damn it! Like at least it was on camera, and at least we have something to talk about. But like, if that happened just independently, like I didn't have a show where I need real life material to fuel it, and it wasn't captured on video, that would have been like. What the fuck am I doing with my life? Why did I bother playing baseball? I know better. I know better than to do these things, and I still went and fucking did it. And this is the price I paid.
For real. I mean, the only
that was kind of my thought. I know better than to fucking fuck with a giant turtle like this. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, but you didn't put yourself in a situation where you had to fuck with a turtle. Kevin stood in the batter box. Kevin put a bat in his hand and looked at the pitcher and was ready. Well, not really ready, but
Nah, not really.
he stood there.
Kevin likes those inside pitches.
Yeah, dude.
They are my favorite. I don't know what they are.
What? Inside, just
I don't know what words mean.
yeah. Fuck it.
Fuck words. Man.
Well, where do we go from here, fellas? Where do we go from here?
Well, I watched a thingy.
Can I do my quick review since I don't have much on it and
Sure.
your stuff is probably a lot more interesting? I watched the first episode, and a couple minutes of the second episode of the Conversations with a Killer, the Jeffrey Dahmer story, which I prefer the documentary versions over the dramatized versions of pretty much all these stories. They've been doing these. They've been doing these for years now. I think the first one was OJ Made in America. Then it was the People versus OJ. And they had one with Pamela and Tommy.
Bill.
They've done a million of them, but
Bundy,
absolutely. I actually I don't remember the Zac Efron Bundy movie. Anyways, the documentary thus far is a lot better than the show itself.
Well, I hear a lot of people saying they like the show.
They do?
Yeah.
They don't.
I have not heard anybody say they don't like the show.
Yeah. I've heard people,
but
I've
you don't
heard
like
a few
it.
People. It was just too scary for me. And someone else that I talked to had the exact same reaction.
Oh, I'm frightened.
Why don't you try watching it, Kevin? It's not documentary.
I don't know. It's close enough. I don't know. I couldn't have less of an interest in the true crime stuff. And now that it's so pervasive and so like overdone, I have even less of an interest in it. Like when I was working in New York and working on the Riley Martin show, I feel like this was like the spawning of this whole thing. Like every time I went to my mom's place during the week to, because I would crash at her place after doing the Riley Martin show. So most of the time I would get there early, hang out with her for a little bit, go do the show, come back, sleep it off, and then go back to New York in the morning. She was always, always, always watching true crime shit on like Investigative Discovery or one of those goofy channels. Yeah.
Like another 48, not another 48 hours. That's a movie.
Good movie.
She literally watched nothing but that shit. And I was like, man, there are other channels, right? You're paying for cable. You got all this shit. Like, all you watch is murder porn. And then it just became, like, when podcasts became huge, it's just like every podcast that's doing well is either, Joe Rogan or murder porn. And it's just, man, I haven't even dabbled. And I'm burnt out on it.
All right, well, that's a fucking lame answer. I mean, it's spooky.
Dip my toes in the water.
It's spooky season, Kevin, and it's a fucking scary story. And it's not that lame-ass interview stuff, that you think is lame. I mean, it is again, I watched the first half of the first episode, and it was fucking scary. It was too scary. I was like, all right, this is weird. Fuck this.
Was that the ghost, Shuddy?
Miles, no power tools.
No, that was MJ.
Fighting a turtle, it's back.
Informing me that the dinner I fed her was not enough for her liking, and she would like more food.
Oh.
Do you give your dog seconds?
No.
Oh.
But if she is sitting in the living, she's now staring at me like very forlornly. Like she's a dog that is mistreated.
She's like shivering like she's auditioning for a Sarah McLachlan commercial.
Hold on. I'll send you guys a picture.
Okay, well.
Either way, the Jeffrey Dahmer documentary is a lot more tolerable than the dramatization. So
Corn,
give it a shot if you will.
Maki Chew.
I'm about to hit up some of the ladies in the Puminati that I know watch the true crime, namely Carl.
Yeah, you're just gonna have to join a book club and discuss this at the hair salon with the ladies.
Yeah. You alphas here at the Mad Scientist Party Hour just don't groove to true crime or
Wow.
documentaries.
Your dog is really, really laying on the sympathy hard.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Jeez.
That dog knows what she's doing. Holy shit. Well, I watched a new Marvel thingy.
You watched Werewolf by Night?
I did.
I didn't even know that was a thing, and I gradually started to learn more about it. I'm hyped to hear your review.
Well, I just saw, so many people tweeting about it, people that got to see it early that I follow, like, a lot of horror people that I follow. And it's basically just a TV special on Disney Plus. It's like 55 minutes long, and it's presented in a throwback fashion where it's in black and white and has really old looking titles and stuff. And I just saw all these people talking about how great it was and that it's kind of R-rated and it's got some good violence. And I was like, interesting. All right. Marvel trying out some weird off the beaten path shit. I'll give it a try. But I was on mushrooms when I watched it. And it confused me a little bit. So while I enjoyed what I saw, I was a little out of my head, and I think I have to give it a rewatch without being on mushrooms. But Shuddy, as a comic fan, I was not expecting to see Man-Thing.
That was I saw a couple of people talking about Werewolf by Night without much context. I was like, I wonder what that is. And then I saw a post that mentioned Man-Thing in it. So that was exciting to discover.
Yeah, it was cool. But the mushrooms were really scrambling my brain. And I was having a hard time grasping what was actually happening in the show. And I'm 99% sure that was the mushrooms' fault. But it was also my second dose of the day. And mushrooms really make me shit. I noticed that because there is a certain amount of anxiety that comes with mushrooms. Like you feel that when you feel your body starting to get weird and you get a little anxious. Like it was like there was a hurricane in my stomach, and I pooped a whole bunch. And then when I sobered up and dosed myself again, it really came back with a vengeance. I took so many poops. My stomach was just in a constant state of turmoil and uncomfortableness. So there was a lot happening that was distracting me. But what I can say on my initial viewing of Werewolf by Night, it's like a 3.5 dicker. I feel like people are enjoying it way more than that. Like it has a way better average on Letterboxd than my review. But I did like the violence. I like that it was presented mostly in black and white. I was not expecting Man-Thing, so that was a cool surprise. You don't really see the werewolf. The guy doesn't turn into a werewolf until pretty much the end. And he fucks some people up, but I would have liked a little... I feel like the werewolf could have been cooler.
You're just going to come out and say it, huh? How many episodes are there?
It's not episodes. It's just like a TV special.
Oh, wow. But the werewolf didn't come out until the end of the TV special?
Yeah.
There's no part 2?
No.
That's weird.
It was weird. I really need to watch it again with a clear head.
Nah, fuck that.
I also recently, I mentioned on the show, I recently rewatched the Benicio del Toro Wolfman movie, and that werewolf was sick looking. This one kind of looked a little scrawny. His face was a little too human-y when he was a werewolf. But overall, on initial tripped out viewing, 3.5 dicks. I'll suck 3.5 werewolf dicks.
How long were you in mushroom retirement for again?
I'm trying to think back. I mean, I had a bad mushroom trip in Philly. I was with Miguel and a lot of that crew, and my brilliant idea for the day was we heard word that mushrooms were in town. We scored a few eighths, and then I was like, this was at the age when everybody was in their early 20s, and we were just at that part where parents were like, you know what, I'm sick of your fucking friends being over here. You're not allowed to have people over the house anymore. So we were struggling to find a place where a bunch of people could get together and trip balls without getting in trouble and striking out. So I suggested, like, let's fucking eat mushrooms. Let's all pile into my car. I'll drive to the center of town, and we'll just have an outdoor adventure. We'll just walk around and get into some shit, and then when they wear off, we'll all pile back in my car and go to somebody's house.
I don't think that's a terrible idea.
So we pulled up to this.
It turned out to be terrible, possibly.
A little bit, for me only, for the most part. But I ate about a half of an eighth. So not like a ton of mushrooms, but when we pulled up to the spot where I was parking, I looked up at the road sign right near the spot, and it just started like breathing and wiggling, and I was like, whoo, got here just in the nick of time. So there was a park, and it was nighttime. So we walk over to the park, and I hear sniffling, like, and we look around, and we found our buddy Buckethead, and he was like, his face was dripping tears and snot, and he was all red. And we're like, man, what the fuck happened to you? He's like, oh, dude, I just came down off the craziest mushrooms I've ever eaten. And we were like, oh, we just scored mushrooms too and ate them. He's like, did you get them from blah, blah, blah? And we were like, yeah. He's like, oh, fucking hold on to your ass because shit's about to get weird. And then, you know, I'm just like, oh shit, oh God, what have I done? So we go into a Wawa, and it was summertime, and I'm like sweating and shit, and the sweat is like annoying me. Like every time it drips down my face, it kind of felt like a bug or something. So I was like, furiously swatting at my face like one of the Three Stooges. And all of a sudden, I see everybody's eyes on me in the Wawa. All the customers, the guy behind the counter, everybody is just staring at me. They probably weren't, but this is how I perceived the situation. So I go up and I pay for my shit at the Wawa.
Hey, what are you looking at, buddy?
Guy's looking at me all weird. Pay for my shit, and I leave, and I start talking to everybody I'm with, and I'm like, man, did it seem like everybody was staring at us in there? And they're like, who cares, man? Who cares? So we walked across the street, and there was just like a random, bench by this big tree. So we're all hanging out there, and I look back over towards the Wawa, and the guy who was behind the counter is on a cordless phone, and he's like pointing in our direction. He's like, yeah, they're over there. And I'm like, is anybody seeing this? And they're like, just shut up, Kevin, shut up. So I'm just like, all right, I'm trusting in you guys. So
must be just me, I guess.
My trip is getting more intense. I'm getting more and more anxious and feeling uncomfortable and stuff. And I see 3 cops with their cherries going, just speed from all directions into the Wawa parking lot. And I immediately stand up and go to run. And my buddy Josh puts his hand on my shoulder, and he just like pushes me back down to sit on the bench. And he looks at me and just goes, don't run. And I just went, ah! And I bury my head in the crook of my elbow, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to get arrested. And I just keep waiting for the cops to come over and bust us or do something.
That must have felt like 3 years.
It was awful. So my trip just gets worse and worse. My anxiety and panic gets worse and worse. Now I'm officially having a bad trip. And like this friend of mine pulls up in a car, just happens to pull up right by where we are. And he's with a girl that he just met off the internet. And this is probably close to 20 years ago. So it's not like a Tinder thing. It was probably Plenty of Fish or Hot or Not or some shit like that. And
it's trend setting.
They just met up for the first time. And I look in the car and I'm like, look, I have to get somewhere familiar and safe. Like, I'm tripping my balls off. Everybody here is tripping. I'm the only one freaking out. Like, we have to get somewhere safe, but like, I can't drive. I have the keys to my car, and he's like, "Oh, let's go back to my grandparents' place. She can drive your car. I'll fit a whole bunch of people in my car. She'll take as many people in your car, and we'll just go back there and ride it out." So I'm now completely out of my mind, and I keep saying to her, I'm like, "How many drugs have you done tonight?" And she's like, "What are you talking? I haven't done any drugs tonight." And I was like, No, but how many drugs have you done tonight?" And she's like, "I don't know how many different ways I can say this, but I'm sober right now." And I'm like, "Okay, if you feel like you've done a minimal amount of drugs, you can drive my car." And I sit shotgun, and when she starts driving, I put my foot up on the dashboard to brace myself because I felt like we were moving at warp speed. And I start freaking out. I'm like, "You got to slow down. You got to slow down." She's like, "I'm going 20 miles an hour." And I'm like, "No, you're not. You're going like 80. We're going to get pulled over." She's like, "Look at the speedometer. I'm going 20 miles an hour. We're in a 25 zone. We are safe." So I just like, I try to look over at the speedometer. It melts. It's no help to me. And we finally get back to my buddy's grandparents' house, and they go to bed at like 7 o'clock at night. They sleep upstairs. His whole sleeping living arrangement is in the basement. So
wait, his grandparents are asleep.
Yeah.
Okay. I
So
was like, wait a second.
They don't know that he's filling the basement with people. So a majority of the people there are tripping. I meet up with Miguel. Miguel's also tripping, and he's having like a bad trip as well. Like, we're both just like, this is fucking too much. This is too intense. So we're kind of just sitting on my buddy's bed watching our old stunt videos to like give us a sense of familiarity and like lift our spirits and shit. My buddy Josh, who put his hand on my head or my shoulder and like shoved me down when I saw cops, he rolls in and he just starts dancing and shit, and he's like, "This is the fucking best. These mushrooms are awesome. This is so fun." For some reason, my buddy decides to take a samurai sword, swing it like a baseball bat, and stop.
In the sheath or unsheathed?
Unsheathed. This is a real sharpened samurai sword. He swings it full speed and stops it like a millimeter from his neck. And all of a sudden, everybody goes, "What the fuck are you doing, you fucking asshole?" And now he gets sent into a bad trip. So now he joins me and Miguel on the bed, who are just like curled up in fetal position, like, "Make these mushrooms stop." And eventually, like 4 hours later, they start to chill out, and I get back into my head. But that was a bad experience. I did not like that at all. So I think at that point, I'd already had a bad acid trip, which also sucked. And I was like, you know what? I just can't handle hallucinogens anymore. But I've dabbled since then. I've definitely been on the record for when I went to Amsterdam with the Stern Show guys. I went to a smart shop, bought a package of mushrooms, ate a single mushroom, and had a bad trip. And I'm trying to think when was the next time? Because I microdosed for a while, and that was chill and manageable. And there's definitely a time I'm forgetting about where I kept my wits about me. But I did keep my wits about me this time, too. But they were those mushroom chocolates that you had, Jeff.
I took 2 of them. They were kind of potent. How many did you have?
I only ate one. I ate one square's worth. And like the visuals weren't super strong. I went to Joshua Tree and was at an Airbnb sitting outside, and I first dose was during the day. So I was just looking up at the clouds, just staring at them for hours and watching like the clouds just like breathe a little bit and then just get absorbed into the sky in like fractal patterns.
Nice. Like, nope.
Yeah.
You watched Werewolf by Night in Joshua Tree.
Yeah. On my second dose of mushrooms.
That's
and
cool.
Carl was okay with this.
Yeah, she was fine babysitting me.
Oh, Carl didn't have any mushrooms?
No, she's not a degenerate like me.
No, I meant
Just
with watching
snitch.
Werewolf by Night, not the mushrooms.
Yeah.
I didn't think you were secretly dosing yourself while you were away with her.
No, she watches horror movies with me and stuff, and like, a 50-minute brand new Marvel thing. She was kind of intrigued.
What an angel.
She is an angel.
Disappointing. She didn't eat mushrooms. I would expect Carl to be into mushrooms.
She behaves. She's not a degenerate like me. But I also got to mess around with some VR for the first time ever. I tried the Meta VR.
On mushrooms.
Yeah.
What?
That was cool.
I've done that really stoned, and it's incredibly difficult. I can't imagine doing it on a hallucinogen.
Well, I got my bearings. The first time I tried it, I was sober, and it was very fun. We're playing Beat Saber, and
That game is ridiculously fun.
oh,
I don't
yeah.
like the songs, but the game is very fun.
It gave me reminders, and I told this story in Joshua Tree about when you came to stay with me in Jersey that one time, and we went to Hollywood Video, and they had Guitar Hero had just come out, and they had a demo of it, and you picked it up and played it, and you were like, well, that settles that. Slapped your credit card down on the table and bought it, and then we went back to my mom's place, got wasted, and everybody stayed up playing it till like 3 or 4 in the morning.
While I appreciate that you thought of me, that's not exactly how it happened.
No? I
No.
thought, who bought it? I thought you bought it.
I mean, most of the details were correct. There were a few that were. We played it at the GameStop in Rockaway Mall, and I did not pull
Really?
the trigger on it. And then we went to the Hollywood Video. We went to Game Crazy.
Yes, that's
at Hollywood Video because
Yep.
Dom wanted to look for vintage games, and that's when I broke down and bought it.
that was a
and-
very fun weekend.
It's all we did. Everybody's first thought on it when they saw it was that's fucking stupid, and then just every time we was like try it, and then they would want it to. It was like we were fighting over who was playing. It was insane.
Yeah, it really did revert us back to second graders. Like, no, my turn. Mom, Shuddy Boy's hogging Guitar Hero. But that's how I felt like playing Beat Saber for the first time. Like, I was absolute dog shit at it. And within like 3 or 4 tries, I was getting the hang of it. And I was like, all right, time to bump it up to normal mode. And I got, at the end of the trip, I was basically good enough to do some levels on hard. But, wow, what a fun game. And then playing it on mushrooms, too, is just, that was incredible. That was very, very fun.
There was a brief moment where I debated getting an Oculus just for Beat Saber.
Oh, believe me, it crossed my mind, too. I was like, okay, how much are these VR things? And then I looked it up, and it was $400, and I was like, ugh.
It's not that expensive, though, right? I feel like you spend money on dumber shit. Like,
That's
how much
true.
you spend a week on comics? Probably not that much. Those are
Yeah,
kind of cheap, I bet.
maybe like $10 to $15.
Yeah. But still,
Depends on the
you
week, but-
collect enough stuff and buy enough random stuff.
It's
where
true.
I don't think a $400 like Oculus or whatever VR headset would really like be the worst economic decision you've made, even in the last few months.
The only thing with it is it's essentially you're buying a new video game console. So like if I buy, the new Nintendo or the new fucking PlayStation or something, I know I'm going to get, there's tons of games you can play for it. I feel like VR needs to be like I can't spend $400 just to play Beat Saber. Like I need more. And I'm sure people are going to comment on this YouTube video and like hit us up with all these cool VR games that you can also get. It still feels like you're playing upgraded. It's somewhere between a mobile game and a console/PC game. Like if it just had like a little nudge higher, I could maybe justify it. But Christ, that was fun.
A good first-person shooter.
Yeah.
Super Hot is another one the boys have me get me to play when they bring over.
Oh yeah, Ginger and Juice was telling me that one's sick. You played it?
Yeah, I have played it. It's hard as fuck.
Yeah.
Hard difficult, or hard isn't like cool?
Hard as in difficult because so you have to catch. So you kill the enemies and you have to catch the weapons to use them. If the gun runs out of bullets, you have to throw it and catch another one. And you're dodging the bullets, and it's fun though.
A lot going on, huh?
A lot going on.
Yeah, I gotta try out more things before I commit to spending $400 on new fucking gadgety shit that's gonna be cluttering up my already cluttered apartment. But yeah, that shit's a beast. Played Beat Saber all night until the battery died like 3 times. That was cool. Big fan.
Yeah, Beat Saber is a lot of fun.
Oddly enough, because I think it just comes like generically with a bunch of goofy techno shit, but you can spend money and buy song packages from big name artists, and some of the artists that were downloaded were Lizzo, BTS, and Billie Eilish. And after playing a bunch of songs on Beat Saber, I was surprised to learn that there were actually Billie Eilish, Lizzo, and BTS songs that I enjoy.
There are Linkin Park songs available.
I saw that there was a Skrillex package too, and I was like, "Oh wow, that's ballsy." In 2022, to be like, "Here, enjoy some Skrillex." Like, Skrillex, really? Wicka wicka wicka.
Where's the Skrillex fart?
Oh, good call, Shuddy. If I could play the Skrillex fart on Beat Saber. I might buy his package. I watched another movie with a clear head.
Sober.
Yeah. I watched the new Hellraiser that went straight to Hulu. It? I'll tell you what. Not bad. It's for a reboot. I wasn't super into the main character. She's kind of just like a little bit of a little grungy chick. And she kind of looks like she has messy hair and baggy clothes. She kind of looks like the chicks that I used to party with when I was in my early 20s. But like she's a recovering addict, and some guy that she's with is like, "Hey, I know a place where we can score and rip off like something worth a lot of money." So he convinces her to break into some like shipping container yard, and they open up this shipping container, and there's just like it's a big, massive one of those long rectangles, and then there's just a safe at the end of it when they get in, and they're like, "Oh, well, there's probably money or gold bars in there." They crack the safe, and it's a puzzle box. So she kind of like, they're like, "Well, this isn't money. I don't know what this thing is." So she holds on to it while they find somebody to appraise it. And, of course, she fucks around with it, and some Hellraiser shit happens. I saw people were shaking their fists at the clouds because Pinhead is gender swapped and is now a woman. But the Cenobites were kind of dope. Like in the original Hellraiser movies, they're kind of in leather, scantily clad bondage gear, while also being somewhat mutilated. And the Cenobites in this new one are mostly, like their clothing designs are mostly like peeled and manipulated flesh. So they're almost walking around kind of naked. So it's a little hornier. But what I liked is they took elements from the first and the second Hellraiser and then went a little deeper into the mythology. Like, I've only seen up to the fourth Hellraiser movie, and I think there's like 9 or something insane like that. And from what I hear, they did a bunch of Hellraiser comics that really explore the lore and backstory of Cenobites and all that shit. And I think they incorporated some of that stuff into this new one. And while it takes a while to get going, it's got a strong fucking finish. Like, I feel like even if you're a Hellraiser fan and you're like shitting on the movie, the ending is still going to be like, that's fucking cool. I can appreciate that. And it also takes a bit of a while for the kills to get going, because like people get killed, but it sort of happens off screen. And as a gore junkie, I'm sitting there thinking like, oh, well, if people are getting fucking killed in a Hellraiser movie, let's see it. Those are usually pretty good kills. But once people start getting killed and you see it, it sort of makes up for it. I don't know. I could see people being butthurt and bitching about it, but I kind of enjoyed it. I think I'll suck. I'll suck 3.75 Cenobite dicks.
Yeah, nice.
I'm guessing neither of you guys give two fucks about Hellraiser movies.
Actually, Hellraiser is one of my favorite actual horror movies.
No shit.
The original Hellraiser is so good. And I've read the book. The novella.
Oh. How is that? I'm actually kind of curious to read it.
It's really good. It was a suggestion by Mark because I enjoyed the movie so much. I borrowed it from him. I definitely recommend reading it. The original movie follows the book pretty darn close.
Nice. Yeah, well, I mean, if you like the first and second Hellraiser, I'd say give it a shot. Like I think Mark Rooster was maybe a little tepid on it. Let me look up his Letterboxd scoring for it. I've already seen that like a handful of Puminati have watched it. Ugh. Yeah, Mark Rooster gave it 3.5. Looks like Blorp gave it 3.5. Pudini, 4 dicks. Ginger and Juice, not as impressed. 3 dicks.
He's a tough critic.
But yeah, Shuddy, I think you would enjoy it. I'd say it's definitely worth a watch. Especially since it's just streaming on Hulu. You don't have to go anywhere for it.
So Blorp thinks The Lost City is better than Hellraiser.
You hate Blorp.
This Lost City take is really, it bums me out.
It's a red flag, as they would say.
For sure.
That Blorp is sketchy, according to Shuddy. He's on to you, Blorp.
Not to be trusted.
Fucking sketchball.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to spoil what happens at the end. It's nothing all that grand, but if you're a Hellraiser fan, it incorporates in the god of the Cenobites. And it's a cool little Hellraiser nugget. I was a big fan of that.
I don't think I've ever seen Hellraiser. I mean, I watched it when I was a kid, but that doesn't count because I don't remember anything about it, actually.
I mean, I feel like I watched it recently and I hadn't seen it in a long-ass time. Because the first one isn't all that heavy on the Cenobites. So I remember I watched, I think, the number 3 first, which has a ton of kills and a ton of Cenobites. And then the second one, which mellows out a little bit more than the third one. And then the first one is kind of more soap opera-y and serious.
Sure.
I don't know. But after rewatching both of them, 1 and 2 fucking kick ass. Everybody shits on the third one. I want to rewatch it, but it's not streaming anywhere. I just remember there was a DJ in a rave, which should tell you what year this movie came out. And the Cenobites come in and all these CDs around him start hovering and spinning in the air. And then they go like, flip, 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 like into his skull and then into his mouth. And when he comes back as a Cenobite, he fucking hurls CDs that like ninja stars that slice people up. I always thought that was sick.
This is in the third one?
Yeah.
But no one else liked it, you said.
If you look at the scores of the Hellraiser movies, of which there are far too many, you'll see the score just start dipping considerably after the second one.
You mean like Rotten Tomatoes, IMDb score, stuff like that?
Letterboxd, yeah.
They all fall off.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Well, hey, Shuddy, didn't you have something? What else happened to you? Oh, you're obsessed with dried out fruit. Let me start with a question, because when you send us a text saying that you're big into dried out fruits now, my first thought went to your butthole, because dried out fruits, they absorb a lot of water and liquid when you ingest them, which dries you out and leads to cha-cha-cha diarrhea. So have you been sliding into third and feeling a juicy turd?
We are literally on, like, we're going through, like, this is day 3 of it.
Oh. Well,
This
3
is
days
all
can
new.
give you diarrhea.
It's a new thing.
It's new, brand spanking new.
Let's workshop it. Let's make sure it's something that
Brand
we can keep
spanking
around.
new. Because
I'm still here.
The dogs, I've been giving the dogs sweet potato treats that I bought at the store.
And you saw them enjoying it, and you're like, oh, let me try one of these. They might be good.
No, I Googled, because it's cheaper to buy sweet potatoes if I could easily dry them out at home than it is to buy manufactured sweet potato dog treats.
Ah, thrifty Shuddy.
So
Trying to save a buck. Why not?
listen,
right?
it was going. It had to, the effort to do it had to be minimal for it to be worth any savings.
Yeah.
So when I discovered it was literally wash a sweet potato, cut it, put it in the oven at a very low temperature for 2.5 hours, and that was it. I rolled the dice and gave it a shot.
So then you were like, oh, maybe I can dehydrate other things.
What did you do in the 2.5 hours it took to cook?
Oh,
Well,
I jacked my dick off.
Honestly, I dozed off in the recliner.
That's what I would be afraid of.
That's exactly what I was afraid of happening, and it did actually happen. But I set multiple alarms in case it did happen, so that way I did not possibly burn the house down trying to dehydrate sweet potatoes for the dogs.
I would have really pissed off Sharon.
And then, what night was that? That might have been, what day is today? Nope, that was Saturday night. That's how I spent my Saturday evening. And then last night I decided to dehydrate more sweet potatoes for the dogs because they loved them. And then that's when I got the idea to start seeing what other fruits I had around the house I could dehydrate, and have been enjoying cinnamon apple chips.
Oh, I wonder if I can dehydrate Skeletor.
No, the plastic would melt.
But then I could eat it.
They're fucking amazing.
How long until you start dosing those things with THC?
Great question. Yeah. Had to put some keef on those and shake it up.
Papa Shuddy's edible shack.
The idea did enter my mind, but then I would have to learn how to make a tincture or purchase a tincture.
Nah, come on.
Just
And
Google that.
but I'm also, so
Google it.
the first night with the brownies was a problem because I ate them like they were brownies and not that like they were marijuana brownies. So like,
How many brownies do you eat in a sitting?
so like when I made them, like I licked the spatula and
Oh, wow.
all of that. And then when I cut them, like all the stuff that got stuck to the knife, I threw in my mouth, and then I ate 2 brownies. And then I woke up at 2 a.m., barely stand up with the worst munchies I've had in a long time.
Speaking in tongues.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm hungry. Time to eat more brownies.
It's like, what the fuck? And then I was like, oh. So those are my concerns, is that I will not just eat one and then it'll be a problem.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. That's always the thing you face when you find a delicious edible. Like, you don't want to eat one dose worth, you want to snack on them. And it's like, if I do that, I'm going to go to another dimension.
Yeah, when we see how addictive Shuddy's personality is, he bought one He-Man toy. Now look at him. There's going to be a whole fucking garden of fruits and vegetables behind him that he's going to send to their fucking dried fruit grave.
There's just like fucking bananas hanging on strings behind him, like he's drying out bud.
I did start a cursory search for a food dehydrator.
Man, you know, you should just...
How I figured you went about this.
But I decided that was not something to commit to, because I have a feeling that all the effort it takes to get the fruit dried out is going to eventually not be fun anymore.
No.
I'm just going to go back to eating Sour Patch Kids. So
maybe I can dehydrate
do I really need
them?
A food dehydrator laying around the house that's probably going to get used for 2 weeks, and then that'll be the end of it?
Yeah, you know, you really should buy that VR headset and just get fully immersed into Beat Saber, because then all your free time will be taken up with that, and you won't be tempted to buy more He-Man toys or food dehydrators.
I don't think you're giving Shuddy enough credit for how much free time he has.
I don't have that much free time.
What if I take a dump in the food dehydrator?
Based on all the fucking hobbies and things you accomplish, it sounds like you have a lot of free time.
I'm always going 1,000,000 miles an hour.
Yeah, I guess so. That's
Lots
which
of
probably made
spinning.
that whole turtle thing a real issue, because that thing was not going 1,000 miles per hour.
No.
Yeah.
Also, the dogs have committed multiple murders this week.
Okay.
Good Lord. What are you teaching these dogs to do?
You have serial killers for dogs. That's a bummer.
The dove population here in Quakertown is down to...
I don't know
what you call not quite chicks, not quite baby birds, but not quite adult birds.
Tweens?
But the doves that nest in the cedar trees out back lost both of their offspring this week.
Man, they're probably really pissed at your dogs.
They have definitely been spotted in the areas where the murders occurred, looking for their babies.
Oh no.
It's been...
Do you feel bad about this?
It was a turtle. It wasn't my dog.
I can't believe I didn't tell you guys this last week, because the first murder happened on Sunday after the Eagles game.
Well,
I went outside and Parker wouldn't come in, and I go to where he is, and there's this mangled baby bird still breathing.
Oh no.
I was just...
So did you stomp on it?
I did not.
Did you use your gun and execute it?
No. I don't have a gun. That's Kevin. Kevin is the only one that has a firearm out of the three of us.
I'm going to the shooting range with my Outcat coworkers next week. So.
That tracks.
Man, Shuddy boy, if your dogs keep this up, next week Jeff is going to be reviewing their Netflix series.
And
Confessions of a Fucking Killer. Shuddy's dogs.
MJ and Miles.
No, Parker. Parker still.
No, Parker killed the first bird.
Oh, so who's the cool dog?
Well,
who's the non-murderous dog?
Well, they all feast on the flesh.
One's the accomplice. The getaway driver.
Miles and Parker were both involved in the first murder.
Okay, so they get first degree.
And I let nature take its course, and then I moved it out to where the wild animals roam so they could handle the rest.
Wait, where do you have wild animals? Is that a joke about like your dogs, or you have wild animals in,
no.
near your property?
So there are feral cats that roam Quakertown, and we live. There's
Kevin,
we're
hold
about
on.
not even. We're three-quarters of a block away from woods.
From a block. Kevin, would you prefer to live next to wild animals or Poop Slime Alley?
Oh. Wild animals. I mean,
all right. Be careful. The grass is always greener, as they say, you know?
I mean, I lived, when I lived in Jersey, it was kind of right smack in the middle of the woods.
Yeah. Why did you move?
You
moved to Poop Slime Alley.
To tell fart jokes for a living.
All right. Okay.
Believe me,
if there was the internet, you could do that.
If there was an affordable place near the woods in this area, I would be there. But Fair I don't enough. Know. Where are you going to move in LA? Near the forest?
I'm just saying. I would be more freaked out. I mean, there's homeless guys I see all the time walking around in Long Beach, even by my house. And my place really isn't that bad, but I see enough homeless people. I would much prefer that than wild animals.
Well, that's because you're a wuss. You're afraid of chipmunks.
Yeah, I'm not afraid of fucking crackheads or junkies, but I'm not fucking with animals.
I'm not really afraid of them. I'm just annoyed by them.
Jeez.
Crackheads are kind of annoying.
These people are sick, Kevin. All right?
I get it, but I'm not all that interested in their 4 a.m. open mics.
I don't know. Maybe you should listen to the $1 Trillion Man's material. Might give you some inspiration.
I mean, I have.
Nigga, I ain't got to catch not near fade. Because I caught a fade already with a Grape Street nigga, my nigga. For the right call. And I wasn't supposed to do that. Graduated, nigga. Got my A
Kevin,
license.
that's your tag team partner.
I really like that guy's energy.
The $1 Trillion Man?
Yeah. On God.
And then Friday morning.
Oh, God!
Friday, it was super nice here. It was in the low 70s. So I let the dogs out to hang out.
And now they have a taste
for Murder 3?
They have a taste for blood.
This is Murder 2. This one was much worse than Murder 1.
Oh, God.
Murder 1, I was able to, victim ended up dying en route to the hospital, but I'm making jokes. The bird died. The bird wasn't dead.
After the whole turtle talk, I thought you were just in animal rescue mode.
No.
Don't go into the light, Tweety. Don't do it.
The bird that Parker killed was...
He's speeding through the fucking lights. You're not going to die on me. You're not going to fucking die on me.
I let the dogs out. They were outside for a while. I was doing stuff in the cleaning the kitchen on my day off, and go to let the dogs in. The boys are laying in the sun. They will not move from their spot. They won't come in. So I step outside to start bringing them in, and I get to where I can see MJ, and there's MJ chewing on something surrounded by a circle of feathers. And I went, MJ. And she looked at me, and she just spit out all that was left of the second baby bird, which was just the rib cage.
Oh.
And she casually walked inside.
Oh. So I guess they got to taste good, right? Or they just...
Apparently.
That's just like a gusher to them?
Oh, jeez. These dogs.
Yeah, your dogs are fucking nasty, Shuddy boy.
I could not...
And then they come up and lick your face. You're going to get the fucking bird flu and shit.
No. I did not allow that for 48 hours.
Did you brush your teeth?
I was quite upset.
I brushed your teeth with 2,000 flushes.
You murderous dogs. I didn't know they really. A little mama really goes after no animals. She doesn't fuck with squirrels, because I guess Boston Terriers were bred to kill squirrels.
So what, she gets pissed off when she sees them?
They are
every now and then, yeah.
The mom, the two adult birds will not leave the yard. Like they come and land in the area under the trees where they nest, where I'm guessing both babies got.
Sounds like it's gonna happen again. These dumbasses.
The dogs are fixated on that spot. Like one of them, the stupid fucking birds, which I'm on record of not really being fond of birds.
Sure.
In general. One of those fuckers they were sitting like on the patio immediately outside the sliding back door. So I opened it. The dogs bolted. The birds flapped around. One of them almost flew in the house.
That'd been a real problem.
That would have been my worst nightmare.
Dogs would have gotten rid of it. Well, maybe not gotten rid of it, but
this fucking vaulted ceiling would have made it impossible to get that fucking bird out of here.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It would have been like it would have been more great content.
Yeah,
like, I would have had a fucking dove
bird goes by
flapping around the house.
Could you imagine that guy?
I would have
a bird just whipping by. Shuddy has her recording.
Just shitting on
every
him.
now and then the fucking bird just like nosedives into the fucking scene.
Lands on Shuddy's head and just starts pecking at him.
It's been a fucking week, guys. It's been a week.
It knows you're somewhat involved in the disappearance of its children, so
it's got revenge on its mind.
It wants blood.
Well,
it's definitely coming for Skeletor and Fistor, for that matter.
Well, the second bird that got murdered definitely knew we were involved, because the one day.
Whoa, Shuddy, you need to get yourself out of the situation. There's no we, it's your dogs.
Because right to the left of me, where I sit and where I work from home at this desk, the patio furniture is right under the window, and the other bird was sitting there the one day for like 10 minutes just staring at me.
Trying to haunt you.
Through the window. I was like, I know, I'm sorry, he's not coming back. Like, I can't do anything about it.
You gotta try to make your life the best it can be now that your kid's dead. I don't know what to tell you.
And you're already living in a haunted house, so you're slowly turning into like a Hitchcockian story.
Yeah, like, is it good to have a pet cemetery on top of a native burial ground? Because that's currently what you got going on. It's probably not a good thing.
Well, hopefully.
Good luck on those brownies next time, buddy.
The outdoor creatures took away the carcasses.
The wild animals.
The foxes and feral cats.
They're a real fucking zoo. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, shit.
Sometimes there's deer that get impaled on the wrought iron fence at the cemetery up the street.
So they get impaled, stuck, and then they just like slowly bleed out and die while stuck on a fence?
Correct.
Jesus
that has
Christ,
not happened since we've moved in, but that's an urban legend I've been hearing from the townies.
Urban.
I'm happy. That's true. It's true. It's not an urban legend. But I have been watching that show Welcome to Flatch on Hulu.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Show. It's a mocu-series, sort of like The Office and Parks and Rec.
Okay.
About small town life with Sean William Scott.
Stifler.
Stiffmeister.
Who plays the town pastor. And
my brother's. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And it follows these two early 20s kids that really just small town people with, it's a lot of fun. It's fucking hysterical. And in season 2, Jamie Presley joins the cast.
Wow, a lot of throwbacks in that show. People who, if I'm being honest, I miss seeing from.
Yeah, it's funny. I think it's really funny.
Well, What do you guys say we chip away at Mount Voicemail?
Let's do it.
Voicemails,
I'm down.
yay!
All right, humans, get ready. What the fart? What happened here? Oh, that was weird. That was a tab I didn't know existed. Okay. I do believe this is where we left off. Play through the thing. Oh, God damn it! Why do you do these things to me?
Hey guys, Canada Kent here en route. So I'll give you guys a call. I was listening to today's episode, and Kevin, you were talking about getting your.
Man, it sounds like he's at your house, Shuddy.
I
Kill
know.
that fucking dog.
This is not me.
Stitches taken out. It's the beginning of August right now, so I'm sure you guys are getting this around Christmas, so we're great. You're going through the voicemail. So you're talking about how long it took and all the pain and everything it took of getting those stitches out. So you shouldn't take them out yourself. I've had quite a few stitches in my time, and never gone to the hospital to have them taken out. One time it was a nurse that took them out.
Well, I should point out, Canada Ken, that when I got my stitches taken out, I didn't go to a hospital. I went to an urgent care because they also had to, like, look at the fracture and other shit going on with it. And the motherfucker who did those stitches, too, laced me up like a goddamn football. Like, they were so fucking tight, they were getting, like, swallowed by my skin. I don't know how the shit I would have taken those out by myself, but yeah, you didn't go to the hospital, for Christ's sake.
But at the fire
That much of a
convention,
pussy.
I still agree with Canada Ken on this.
Yeah, well, what else is new? You
my
pussy.
dad was a firefighter and had stitches in my head, and he had a friend that was a nurse. He took them out, but other times, I just use a pair of wire clippers and clip them off and pull them out. So I always would let you go and waste your time at the hospital and not tell you to do that. Anyway, hope you guys are doing good. Shuddy boy, I got a little treat for you. You might be interested in. I got a Skeletor piggy bank. It's just the head and the shoulders of Skeletor, but it's original. I have the.
Oh God, I want it. Oh no, what happened? Hold on.
Piggy bank. It's just the head and the shoulders of Skeletor, but it's original. I have the plug for the bottom and everything still. It is very old.
That's exciting. He has a plug for your bottom, Shuddy boy.
But it's not cracked or anything. And, yeah, I don't know if you had one on hand or if you're interested in one, but if you are, let me know, and I'll shoot you guys an email with my info, and you can get in touch with me. Or if my phone number is on there, you can throw me a text and get in touch and see if you're interested in it. And if not, I'll hang on to it. It's pretty cool looking over my bed anyway. Anyway, guys, thanks for keeping me company. Kevin, you're a pussy.
Yeah,
Canada
sorry.
Ken, if that offer is still on the table, I
Buying.
am very interested.
I can put all the quarters in there that I make from my lemonade stand.
That would be a fantastic piece to add to my collection. How long ago is that? Is it possible he's gotten rid of it?
August 3rd.
Ooh. Canada
My
Ken,
mom's birthday.
if it's still around,
2 months, right?
hit me up at Shuddy Boy on Instagram.
Oh, he called back.
Oh.
Hey, fellas. Canada Ken here calling. Just had a thought, and I thought of Shuddy Boy for this one. So it's more of a thought. I guess it was a memory. When I was a kid, I don't know, I was booger picking age, so let's say like 8 or 9. Hanging out with a friend of mine.
The
Kill
fuck?
that fucking dog. It's this Canada Ken's voicemail is haunted.
Or he got sucked up by a fucking Canadian tornado.
In boogers. Sorry, by the way, about the wind. I'm walking along the water on my route right now.
So it sounds like he said he's walking on water while on his route. Yeah, God damn it, Canada Ken. Pick a good venue for voicemails, yay.
So we're out back in our house and we're picking our noses and, he's chowing down. And I've never been one to indulge in that sort of.
So it sounds like when he was young, him and his friends were just like hanging out picking their noses and shit. I'm
really getting after it up there in Canada, huh?
Yeah. They call that a Canadian circle jerk.
that's Canadian gooey cookie right there.
I've never even really put one in my mouth before. I just kind of figured they were gross. So I picked one out. This one, I remember to this day. It was stuck under my fingernail.
Oh, God. Like, Jeff, you know how you get all skeeved out by fucking cannibalism in movies?
Yeah.
That's how I get with booger eating. Like, these motherfuckers, like, giving us details about eating their boogers and it getting dried up under their fingernail. Like, my palms are sweating. I'm getting a fucking disgusting panic attack from this shit. You're fucking nasty, Canada Ken.
Yeah, you fucking nerd. Jesus, Canada Ken.
I was too young to have nose hairs, but they definitely look like hairs.
Yeah, you eat the fuck out of those nose hairs, though, I bet.
I ripped this thing out. It was big and crusty and definitely would have been chewy. I looked at my friend.
I wonder what's the most bars they get up there in Canada.
Like T-Mobile service bars?
Yeah. Like I have 4 right now. Is that the most? Or they do 5?
Yeah, I have no idea.
Motherfucker sounds like he's got 1.5 bars.
I just want to get this fucking voicemail over with before I barf.
Took that booger off my finger and ate it.
Oh!
You ever done that, Shuddy? Eating a friend's booger?
Never eaten a friend's booger or entertained the idea of eating a friend's booger.
Oh. You're not a real one like Canada Ken.
I guess not.
Well, it sounds like it was Canada Ken's friend who, it was like Toronto Paul or something. Like
he's an accomplice. Canada Ken's guilty by literally feeding him the booger. However that transaction took place, Ken was a part of it.
He just like deep-throated Canada Ken's finger and slowly and erotically pulled his lips back and ate the boogie. Ugh.
You made that worse. Good job.
More to gross you guys out. Friend.
Yeah, you successfully grossed us out. Congrats.
Of mine, once he had a kid, when a baby gets congested, you have to kind of put that thing up their nose and it suctions it out and pulls all the snot out. He was not down with that. He just put his lips right around the baby's nose. And
I don't believe that.
Gave it a good hard suck, mouth full of snot, and spit it out in the driveway. 2 of my friends were over, almost puked right then and there. Him and I were laughing so hard. Anyway, guys, let me know if you've ever had anyone else's boogers in your mouth. Bye-bye.
That's the worst. That's the worst thing in the world.
So that really is. I honestly kind of tuned out the first part of the voicemail and then got back into it when you started riffing. That could be the worst voicemail ever left on this podcast.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
My asshole hurts after that.
I was a little confused because of the audio, though. Who sucked the boogers out of his kid's nose?
It almost sounds like it was a different friend, or maybe it was the same guy grown up, but he was making it seem like someone's baby had a stuffy nose, so they just like CPR, mouth to mouth, just suck the snot out and then spittoon it on the floor.
Young babies can't blow their nose. They don't
Idiots.
know how to. So they make these. They're almost like turkey basters, but they're for baby boogers.
I've seen those.
And you put them in the baby's nose, and you squeeze the bulb, stick it in the baby's nose, and when you release the bulb, it sucks the snot out when they're not feeling well. So somebody, instead of using one of those, just used their mouth to suck the snot out of hopefully their own child's nose.
The only way that could be worse is if someone let their friend suck their fucking kid's boogers out of their nose. Like, how does that happen? Ken, you gross motherfucker. How does that happen? Like, what conversations are you guys having amongst each other?
Why did everybody not just get together and beat that guy up right then and there?
Kick that baby's ass.
Yeah, kick both their asses.
Yeah. Someone needs to fucking teach this baby a lesson, namely how to blow its own fucking nose.
Yeah. Man.
Jeez.
So, I mean, I guess for Canada Ken's question, have either of you guys ever had anyone else's boogers in your mouth?
Nope.
I know. I haven't had my. Don't say it like that, Shuddy. I haven't had my own boogers in my mouth.
I guess the closest I ever got. Remember that thing people used to do when they would like hock a loogie in their mouth and then hold you on the ground and dribble it out and suck it back up?
No, that happened to you? Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh no, buddy! I'm so sorry that happened to you.
You sit on somebody's like stomach, you pin their wrist back, and then you go like, you work up a loogie, and then you dribble it out, and it dangles super low, and they go and suck it back up at the last second.
You played offense in this situation before, right? You're not only defense.
No, I don't think I ever did because I was like, this is fucking gross. It only got done to me.
Yikes.
And I was freaking out because this loogie was getting so close to my face, and then he would suck it up, and I was like, just stop! You made your point! You successfully sucked it back up a few times. Just stop! And as I was screaming, the loogie string broke and gulp landed on my uvula in the back of my throat. And then I pushed him off and barfed.
Well, that's when hopefully you learned your lesson that when you're in that situation, you don't scream.
That might have been the last time I was ever in that situation.
Well, that's even better.
Yeah, hopefully you didn't hang out with that fucking guy again. Or was it a girl?
He was like my neighbor that lived behind me in the house I grew up in.
I like that story better if it was a girl bullying Kevin and doing that to him.
Hold him down. Dangle on the loogie.
I'm sure I got bullied by girls in the past.
Elementary school, I definitely did.
Yeah, I got bullied by a chick once.
Was it about your penis?
What the fuck?
And it being so tiny.
Yeah.
No, neither one of those things was I bullied about when I.
So she didn't know is what happened.
Well, we were young. She didn't. She had not seen my penis. Still hasn't, unfortunately. No, it was like just I don't know, some neighborhood girl. She was more of like she just like would be physical with me, like would hit me, and like I couldn't hit her back because she was a girl, and I just felt like I was bullied because of that situation. That's all I meant.
Well,
this is a pretty useless comment, I guess, but I let you guys fire off some gems on me.
I'll take it easy on you, Jeff.
Yeah, I didn't eat anyone's loogies growing up.
Ugh.
Maybe I'm not the one you have to take it easy on.
Man, I had forgotten about that story. That bums me out.
Yeah, Ken, you just completely ruined the mood of this whole fucking podcast.
Yeah, for real. All right, let's try and shake it off with a different
Don't be mean
voicemail.
to Canada Ken, guys.
Just wait
No,
till I
Just
get
trying
my...
to do his best.
Yeah, I appreciate him giving us content. I do, thanks to the voicemail, but everything you said was fucking gross and off-putting. Don't introduce yourself to me at Fellas Mania.
Once I get that piggy bank, you guys can, it's open season.
Mad Scientist Party Hour. This is shitballs, but I'm done with shitballs. I'm going to go as Chris the Mailman because that's what I do. I'm a mailman.
I mean, you were
just
the one
get
that
rid
called
of shitballs?
You were the one that called yourself shitballs. Right?
I feel like shitballs is more Illuminati like more on brand for the Puminati than Chris the Mailman.
It is. Yeah, you're taking more of like a Cheers vibe now.
Yeah, don't we already have a mailman in the Puminati?
Yeah, it's Canada
I think
Ken.
we do. No, butt package.
UPS.
Also, we're shipping. It's logistics, Shuddy.
All right, well, I guess he wants
one
to
is
be
the
Chris the Mailman.
USPS and one is UPS. They're different.
Of course, and we all know exactly what that difference is. I'm just testing you guys.
One's a mammal and one's a reptile.
And I've been listening to you guys for so many fucking years and listening to the Ellis show, which is how I found out about you guys. I used to listen to Howard Stern, and then Howard Stern was playing the same shit over and over again, so I decided to go through and find out something else I was going to listen to, and everything sucked. And then all of a sudden I came to the Jason Ellis show, and I knew Jason Ellis from skate videos. So I was like, oh shit. And then I heard Kevin being stupid as fuck on there, which I love. So I've been fans of you guys for a long time. So I usually don't do this, but because I'm constantly on the mail and I hate all the podcasts that I listen to, I decided that I was gonna fucking just go ahead and say fuck it and spend the $10 for each of you. So I'm doing $20 a month for you motherfuckers. So you, everything's been pretty good so
Thank
far.
you.
It's actually better because every podcast I listen to sucks. And by the way, Jeff, fucking Wheaties is awesome. You just like sweets, you fat fuck. I still love you though. But yeah, doing the top tier Patreon for you guys was amazing, and I am pretty excited about it because I can just keep listening to you guys and listening to the Ellis show nonstop, and that's all I want to hear because everything else sucks, man. If you ever actually sit down and listen to another podcast, it's like two girls usually, and they're like, oh my god, are you serious? I can't do it, so I'm just like, oh, fuck, I'm done. So anyway, you guys are kicking ass, and Shuddy still has a dirty beard. Love you guys.
My beard is definitely not dirty. I groom that shit.
Well, that actually was a nice voicemail that did uplift my spirits more than Canada Can, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Shuddy Boy does regularly clean his beard. And when he shakes baby birds out of it, the dogs are right there to eat them. What the fuck?
Good stuff, guys. Good stuff today.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Shuddy,
Let's do another voicemail.
thank you for sharing.
You're very welcome.
Or no, it's not.
Yeah. What do you say we go over to Patreon land? By the way, as Chris the Mailman pointed out, the $10 tier, we brought back Queef or No Queef with a fucking vengeance. My goodness. The way this new season of Queef or No Queef is playing out on our Patreon is pretty absurd. I know people are very fired up to have it back, and I just can't believe some of the shit that keeps happening on this goddamn show. It's one of those things you have to actually hear to believe it.
Do you think it surpassed Crafter Jeff as the best Patreon thing we do?
It's
tough
tough.
question, I know.
It's tough.
Yeah.
I don't know. Because I see people commenting going back and forth on both, but either way, I'm pretty sure you'll enjoy yourself if you want to check it out. Patreon.com/Mad Scientist Party Hour. It keeps the lights on, so if you want to help support us and also treat yourself to some fucking killer content that's always being cranked out and get access to the entire back catalog of our Patreon, you should check it out. I think you'll enjoy yourself. You can also follow us on Instagram. I'm at Kevin Kraft.
At Shuddy Boy.
At Jeff Records.
and at MSPH Podcast. If you want to shoot us emails, madscientistpartyhour@gmail.com. Haven't given out the voicemail line in months, and it hasn't really helped us. People have very good memories.
Just give it out this time. See what happens.
No,
Yeah.
we'll never make this. We'll never make it to the peak, Shuddy.
We're already never going to make it to the peak.
I feel like we're getting there. I feel like
but we don't want to fucking climb Mount McKinley. We want to climb Everest. We want to be champions.
I think it already is Everest.
I thought Everest was part of McKinley.
I don't even know what's going on right now.
I don't know my mountains. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm too stupid for this. Shuddy, you got any Chuckle Hut dates you need to promote?
Nope, no Chuckle Hut dates to promote.
All right, well, if you want to see the videos, youtube.com/Mad Scientist Party Hour. You can subscribe and like and participate in the algorithm, and hopefully it'll blast us into the stratosphere and we can continue with our goal of world domination. Otherwise, we'll just be sitting here eating each other's boogers and dingleberries. That's all for this week, friends, but until next time, something!